Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tanner Holmes. I'm a 22-year-old 410 sprint car driver from Southern Oregon. I'm actually not at the race shop right now. You can see, turn the camera. I'm at the Oregon coast. Not a lot of racing around here. There actually is one track, Coos Bay Speedway. They don't have a lot of sprint car well, they had one this last year in 2025. I did win a race back there at that track, years ago in my limited days. So anyway, back home though, still here in Southern Oregon. The off season's coming up. We have a couple races left with Tarleton Motorsports for the sprint car deal. We got some outlaw kart shows coming up for the winter to stay sharp. We're gonna be making a trip to New Zealand. So even though like the busy part of our outdoor season is complete, like things still don't slow down a ton into the winter. We just got a lot more fun stuff going on in a lot of different areas. Now for today's show, I want to talk about something that I've been thinking a lot about lately, and that is, this high limit and World of Outlaws rivalry that we kind of got going. It's been building up now for the past few seasons. High limit was created. It was just a midweek deal. Then it kind of burst into a full national season. Now they're traveling more money's on the line, and they're kind of rising up to literally go head to head with the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, and we're seeing it all happen in front of our eyes. It's crazy stuff. Like right now we have a legit a 1v1, you could say. Basically, I think, since the deal that happened in 2006 with the National Sprint Tour, I believe it was, this is the first real competitor that the Outlaws have had that is is strong. High Limit and the Outlaws are literally going head to head right now at the national level, and I feel like it's one of the best things that's happened for sprint car racing is we're just seeing all these races, we're seeing all this competition, all this money. Just interesting times to be living in. And from my perspective, I feel like right now High Limit has the momentum, and I want to talk about why. So as we roll into 2026, we're gonna see this charter system be implemented on the high limit side of things. Again, it's one of those situations, they've given us all this information, but we also have to see exactly how it's gonna go. 10 teams have charters. Basically, that is, their ownership in the streaming, or like half of the streaming money from Flow Racing and what High Limit is generating. And basically, they've given us a sheet on what 2026 through 2029 is supposed to look like and how those charters are gonna become more valuable. They also have this bonus money that they're going to be implementing next year that is supposed to grow as well for the teams that win the most. So this could be something for a team that just pick and chooses races. I think of a guy like Kyle Larson. Obviously, he's not full-time with High Limit, but if he comes in and wins 7 or 8 races a year, he's going to get some of that bonus money. Basically, they just take the top 5 teams that win the most, and they're going to get, I think it's like 40,000, 30,000, 20,000. Like it kind of just drops down, and it's a good chunk of change for a team that does well that season, that they're also gonna, basically add to their winnings for the year. Both of those are unique that High Limit is doing. And then also, and I feel like this is where the Outlaws and High Limit are more on a similar playing field, but High Limit is trending in the direction of having higher paying shows, 100,000 to win, 50,000 to win, 25, 20. They have that, it seems like, more consistently on their schedule versus normal paying races. And again, it's kind of seems like it's still trending upwards. So we're gonna have to look at all 3 of those variables, and that is what leads me into making the statement that the World of Outlaws have to do something. Again, the Outlaws, I feel like they have to do something. And when I'm talking about all this, I'm not saying it because I am in this space. Sometimes, us drivers, we obviously get insight on what's going to happen before just the normal fan that watches from every Saturday night on the couch or in the stands hears information. So I'm not saying this like, hey, the Outlaws need to do something and I know what's coming. I'm genuinely saying this like, are we all kind of on the same page here? The Outlaws, if they have the means to do it, whether it's in their point fund, whether it's in some of their races, maybe it's their tow package, which the Outlaws still have a good strong tow package for good guaranteed money between their tow money and their end of year. But I just feel like they need to put something out to show where they are going to increase, maybe over the next 5 years, or just something that's immediate. And again, maybe that's just literally in the point fund, but if they have the means to do it, if they have the money, I feel like they could really make this interesting, as right now High Limit has all this positive momentum. And I think it would maybe just, I don't really know how to say it, but you can obviously see online who's kind of on whose side, and that's whatever. But again, you could really make it interesting. You could shut up some of the critics. Let's say there's a lot of people that are critical on the Outlaws, a lot of people that are critical on High Limit. I want everyone just to enjoy sprint car racing, because what's happening right now, it's just flat out insane. And we want it to be sustainable. We absolutely do. We don't want things to go backwards. But I just feel like if the Outlaws have some way, like, right, we're all on the same page that something's got to be coming this off season. And again, I don't know if it's an increase in the point fund, I don't know if it's the travel, I don't know if it's some of the races, but I just feel like I guess the easiest way I could say this is if they could just put more on the table. And again, that's coming from a perspective of, I have no idea World Racing Group's business, I don't know any of the details. Call me a backseat driver or armchair quarterback, but I'm just saying, if they had the funding, if it worked for their business to put more on the table, because High Limit's been doing all this stuff, right? And I feel like then it's kind of giving them the upper hand, and man, at least how things appear, like it looks, they got a good package, what they're trying to do and what they're making happen in the sport. But the Outlaws too, you gotta remember, they have the brand, they have the legacy, and they still have, you know, some of the best drivers in the country in the biggest events that also have the brand and the legacy and are just a staple in dirt racing, right? So they still have all that in their arsenal. If they put more money on the table, man, I just feel like the Outlaws would gain a lot of what, I don't even want to say what they've lost, but you guys get what I'm putting down here. And again, I feel like that's the upper hand that the Outlaws do have, is just simply like they've built something amazing over time, and they're not going anywhere, just like I don't think High Limit's going anywhere, but High Limit's working really hard and hitting on a lot of the right spots and doing a great job. So anyway, I just feel like the Outlaws have to do something, and I feel like something's got to be coming this off season. And if something's not coming this off season, it gets interesting in a completely different way, because again, I just feel like High Limit has that upper hand with the charters, with the schedule, with some of the bonus money, you know, some of these bigger races. They obviously kind of own the entire country. They have a little bit bigger West Coast swing. They're traveling around. Like I said, the Outlaws still have a schedule like that too, but they don't have as strong of a West Coast swing in some of the traveling areas. So yeah, I just thought it'd be a fun topic. I wanted to give some of my opinion. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't feel like I am. I feel like the Outlaws have to do something, and it just involves a little more money on the table. And if you kind of spread that throughout the field, kind of matches, you know, to then all of a sudden the charter system that High Limit's doing and the Outlaws, and like everything's more even across the board, I think it could get really interesting over the next 5 years in sprint car racing, and we just get to all be along for what is going to be a crazy ride. And I'm very thankful to be involved in the sport right now, because even what things look like 5 years ago, it's such a different level, more cutthroat, more competitive. I'm not trying to come at it from like, hey, we want more, we want more, we want more. I just want to see both like keep raising the stakes evenly, so this keeps like, you know, like I said, I mean, it's good all around. I feel like everybody wins. I just want to see things keep going head to head, and then we all need to just take a second and be thankful for the times that we're living in sprint car racing, because in the future, we're going to look back at now and be like, man, we lived through something that was pretty insane. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, not at a racetrack, unfortunately, not at a racetrack. We are enjoying God's beautiful creation though. So thank you guys for watching today's show. Let me know what you think, and we'll have plenty more to talk about into this off season and living through some of the craziest times in all of sprint car racing history. We'll see you guys all in the next show. Deuces.